All right. Hello. Happy Sunday. This is the Chrysalis Studios live stream. I do this pretty much every Sunday. Varying times, usually about 10:30. Today's getting into about 11:30 Mountain Time. I am in the Rocky Mountain type area of Canada in Alberta. So that would be why I'm Mountain Time, because we have mountains. It is the third week of NaMoPaiMo, technically. Third full week is what we're coming into. So we've had 2 weeks so far. We are rocking it. It's seriously one of the best times of the year. I know I've mentioned that many, many times, but it's so cool to see people trying new things and not getting destroyed by their own inner voices. It's a great opportunity to reach out and have community support. Not that it isn't something that you can do every time of year, but it just is a concentrated, focused time to do that. So it's very, very cool. I am loving seeing all the ponies that everybody's making. I am enjoying my feed quite a bit, especially when, things get crazy, life gets crazy, the world gets crazy, and it's nice to see happy ponies and happy people. And it's cool to be able to, from my perspective, go in and offer advice to people and help if they're stuck, even just encouragement. I find that really cool. NaMoPaiMo would have been something awesome for me to have when I was starting to learn how to paint and sculpt and customize, because everybody has, I think, the same fears where you go into it and you get an ugly stage and you're like, my pony is the color of a Cheeto, what do I do? But how do you know how to overcome that? The internet can be helpful for that. That was obviously more a newer thing than an older thing. It wasn't as prevalent when I was coming up in the customizing idea, but that is okay. It is available now, and we will use it, and I will throw my weight into it and make it super extra awesome, and hopefully that will help people. So we have 2 more weeks, full weeks. We have one more stream before NaMoPaiMo is done. It ends on the 28th of the month, and because February is a short month, we should have picked like the longest month to do the customizing contest, not the shortest month, but that's okay. So yeah, 2 more full weeks, one more stream, and it's gonna be crazy. So what? We have Lizzie. Good morning, Lizzie. Good afternoon, depending on where you are. Katie. Hello, Katie. I hit my headphones. Krista, hi. I'm standing at my desk today, which is why the view is slightly different. So bear with me as I uncomfortably shift and do my thing. I'm trying to stand more rather than sit all the time because it is not doing good things for my body. We have Kimberly. Hello, Kimberly. Like I said, hi, Krista, because you're on YouTube. We have Scumcat, good morning. Brenda, good morning. Amy, hello. Katie says, my tail is finally attached to my Namo pony, not far off from priming. I saw your update sneak through just as I was loading things and queuing them up for the stream. So I will share that in a moment. Annie, hi, Annie, good morning. Julia, good morning, good afternoon. So yeah, I haven't actually made any progress or touched him at all since the last time you guys saw him. It's funny, he matches the colors of the background. He is still looking really, really fun. I'm playing with some techniques though. So I've been using the week to catch up on shipping orders because that is my primary job. And then with him, I have been thinking about how to approach him because I don't want to wreck him. Because that's another NaMoPaiMo fear is, okay, I like it now, but I don't want to mess it up. And I would use stronger language, but I don't want to get kicked off YouTube or Facebook. So yeah, I'm playing with some different techniques for going in and adding some interest and sparkle to his pretty self. Because right now, there's actually no metallics, no shimmer. He is just matte, which is cool, but it can be cooler. So we're going to play with that a little bit. Coming up here, I have a pony that I was playing with. Where'd he go? There you go. Just to play with some different masking mediums. So I took a Fireheart stablemate, and he might look like your run-of-the-mill leopard Appaloosa, but if we can get the camera to focus. That is like a mother of pearl white finish, and he's kind of messy. And then a rainbow holographic, which just looks like dust in this camera, but it is a rainbow holographic finish on the face. Is it better on the other side? Maybe. Come on, camera. There we go. There's a little bit of it. And it didn't turn out how I was hoping. So this is why we test things. And I've been really bad. I don't tend to test things on test models. I tend to test things on the model that I'm playing with that needs to be good and then messing it up and having to fix it. So I was playing with tests, which is good because I don't love how that worked out. The concept would probably be better in a bigger size because if we can get that to focus again. Come on. Come on. Spotch. I wish it would show you the rainbow holographic. So this is the Turbo Dork rainbow roll. There you can kind of see it in that one spot. It's a rainbow holographic that you have to put over a black base. And it is very cool. It looked really cool before I put the white on, and then it didn't quite work out how I was wanting to. But if you do it on a bigger scale, then the effect would look better because you're able to see all that rainbow holographic a little bit more punchy. So I might play with it on a bigger scale and see. I've been playing with some ways to make him shimmer and shine, which has been very fun. I have some tricks up my sleeve that I'll show you guys soon. But there hasn't been any further progress, which is okay. That happens. Sometimes you need to take steps away, but I am caught up on shipping, I think, pretty much everybody at this point. Let me just check. Yes. So I have a couple boxes that are queued out, up and ready to go for Tuesday when we get back from the holiday, and then we're all caught up, which is exciting. Knock on wood. Because the club's coming up and I have fun things to show for that, but I won't peek that until a little bit later. I've been working on something and I will tell you a little bit more about it a little bit later on the stream. Let's see. Laura Rocksmith, hi, how's it going? Julie says, I decided to rearrange the model horses. Why did I think that was a good idea? It's always a good idea in theory until you get into the middle of it and you have to either abort or finish. And aborting usually means a hot mess. I have to actually go through the studio. You can see it's kind of messy, and reorganize some things. I need to put up a new shelf up there because I have no room between the fire hearts and the hucks. So we'll see how that works out because that's always a crazy thing. And I wanted to go through my other shelves that are over there and over there. And it is a bigger job. And I think my brain knows that because I've been in that situation like Julia a few times where you get in part way and you're like, I did not plan for this to be a month-long project. So we have Pam. Oh, Pam, how's it going? Laura Rocksmith, because we're crazy people. We jump in and do things that take forever. Pam says, I haven't been able to start painting yet. Will tomorrow? We're about halfway. So you still have lots of time. Some people can paint their pony in like 2 days or 1 day, a couple of hours. So, and really at the end of the day, the hard deadline, it's hard for NaMoPaiMo, but in the spirit of it, I think that it's great to try and reach that goal, but if you can't, don't be hard on yourself. Don't not start now because you're not going to make the deadline. The whole point is to push yourself and get closer to painting a pony, even if you don't 100% get to painting it all the way. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm bad because I have NaMoPaiMo horses behind me that have been sitting there for I don't even know how long that didn't get finished and still aren't finished. So I have a different view of things. Some people are a little bit more organized in their thought process of they need to start at certain time, do this at certain time, finish at this time, or they will not start. But I'm a little bit more chaotic, I think. So it's start it. If you made progress and got a little bit closer to a painted horse, I think that you're doing amazing. So just keep pushing yourself, pushing little baby steps. Every step counts. And if you don't make the finish line, it's not that big of a hairy deal. And don't beat yourself up for it. Let us see. We have Lizzie saying, it took me 2.5 hours rearranging. Everybody's rearranging models. Spring cleaning is in the air. Oh dear. Amy hasn't touched anything to paint. Oh my goodness. So I've been procrastinating. You saw my little procrastination experiment pony. I have another one that I was playing with that I can't show you because it has things that I can't show you on it. But playing with some different ideas, and so there's been a couple of side adventures. You guys saw one of my other side adventures, which I can show you a little bit more of. So this is kind of a spoiler. So it's not a spoiler for the club. So if you're worried about that, don't worry. But I've been working on my portrait pony for my grandmother, and I have some progress. So you guys saw me working on this back leg the other day, and it's funny because I posted the picture of it, and then the epoxy didn't cure, so I had to strip it all off and redo it. So that's not the leg you saw in the photo. And there's obviously a lot of bugs to work out, but I think she's working out pretty cute. So there'll be more fluff. You can see I ground down the shoulders because she got really wide in the front end. But I'm loving this leg here. She's got kind of a posing and cocking her leg, but also she might be able to like kick you if she needs to, because my grandma was spicy. Very, very sweet, but had a little bit of a spicy edge to her. So you can see that there is an eye. And there'll be, I'm so bad for only sculpting one side of the face. And now I have one eye on one side and one mouth on one side. So it's super lopsided. I mean, at least it's me sculpting on both sides. Normally they're like flat on the one side and then they have all the detail on the other side, which works great for medallions, but she's super cute with all of her little wrinkles. She's got kind of a saucy, sweet eyeball. So you can kind of see some of the process. I've got a new technique I'm playing with tinfoil for the armature. You can see the dust falling off. Tinfoil for the armature, and it's a tinfoil that's stabilized on wire, and then building over top of it, you can kind of see it poking through in the shoulders. And how I stripped everything back, so I'll build back up and build her shoulders up, but she's starting to get some form to her, which is quite cute and nice. Like her little boom. She's got bum cheeks. And then her tail's going to be swishy. So she'll be swishing it, and then she'll have a whole bunch of hair. So fell Shetland cross is kind of what I think I'm going for. It seems to fit what my grandma was quite well. She was saucy and also sweet. And there had to be a little bit of Shetland in there just to cause trouble, because she was filled with trouble and mischief. So yeah, that's where that is right now, and you guys haven't seen that yet, so that's exciting. I've been working on some other stuff too, but those remain unseen at this point. I actually quite like, so you can see in the back end how when she's standing, she's kind of got a tilt to her. So that hip's coming in, she's cocking her leg a little bit and kind of posing, and then she's got kind of a contrapposto-y shift in the front where she's not straight up and down, so it gives a little bit more visual interest, and she's kind of got a like stance to her, because my grandma was very much the like I can't even explain with words quite how she was, kind of like a Hollywoody feel to her while being sweet with that spicy edge. So it's been very interesting with lots of memories coming up as I've been sculpting, and that's kind of cool. Trying to put things in as I'm working, because I work by feel, so those emotions and those memories are going into the pony as I'm working on it, and maybe a few tears here and there, but some are good tears. So it's been an interesting adventure. I've been trying to document things as I go, and I might be able to post some tutorials on how that works as I play with getting her done. So we have Andrea. Hello, Andrea. Amy saying, I definitely test techniques on smaller models first because you're smart. I am not smart. So I go in and I just destroy what I'm working on and then have to fix it, which makes me fix it. So there's that, but it's definitely not the ideal way of doing things. What else do we got in our chat? Amy says we can always pick a month. Julia, somebody saved my soul. My husband just came in and waved the end of a tape measure. Oh, just inches away from her Briarfest special run. Yikes. Yeah, husbands can be a little bit of bears or bulls in the china shop. I had a great horse and armor, the china porcelain briar that's done up in all of his armor up on the mantle by the clock. And my husband went to change the time because we do the time change thing twice a year, pulled the clock off and bumped the great horse and armor. It bounced. He caught it. It bounced out of his hands and then it shattered into a bajillion pieces. So, yeah, that happens sometimes. So now chinas don't go upstairs. Chinas stay downstairs in locked cabinets. Marty saying, I'm late, but getting to attend a live. Yay, you're here. Hello, good morning. It's a little bit later, so it works for some people, but not for everybody. It's hard to find a time that works. So if you gotta move it around, then it seems to work here and there. Let us see. Andrea says, my understanding is there used to be prizes for NaMoPaiMo. I'm not sure the deadline was a bigger deal then. It was. So when NaMoPaiMo first started, and I don't know if they're going to do prizes this year or not. I haven't heard anything. I've seen some prize, like little packages being sent out to people with little things like stickers and stablemates and stuff like that as a thank you, I guess, for participating. Back in the day, there were medallions that were sent out to people who finished. So finishing had extra encouragement. You not only got to be posted in the collages you'd finished and have your model there, but you also potentially could win a prize. So that seems to have changed over the past few years. I know there was a year when Jen Buxton wasn't able to run the event, and so it kind of did its own thing. So nothing was official. That's why it's become kind of more than just an event. It's become a movement, I think, within the hobby, and it's encouraged a lot of people to start painting, and there wasn't necessarily a requirement for prizes, and that's been kind of hit or miss. So it's become its own thing in the meantime, which is really, really cool. So there definitely was more encouragement then, although now with the stone contest, if you entered a stone, you were qualified for their giveaway or one of their giveaways. And then if you finish that stone during the NaMoPaiMo month, you're also qualified. So, and then for my contest, obviously, because it's running in tandem, but it doesn't have to be your official entry. So that was me trying to get people, let's do the thing, jump in. There's like a little carrot, because I don't know if there's going to be an official NaMoPaiMo carrot. So makes it more fun. So I was thinking about it the other day, how cool it would be if all the artists contributed something and gave something away or held a contest. In the original days when NaMoPaiMo first started, there were artists that would donate things, and that those things would get sent out to whoever at kind of Jen Buxton's discretion. So I don't know how she picked things. I think it was random or however she did it, but she was the one picking and then sending things out, and your fee would go to shipping the prizes and stuff. So yeah, it was kind of cool. Lizzie says, I love swishy tails. People are liking the sass. Glamour and sass. Exactly, Amy. That was my grandma. Everybody's like, she's so sweet. But there was that sassy component of, yeah, she definitely was part Shetland. Hi, Tommy. How's it going? Marty, I love dangling carrots. So, yeah, I don't know. It's fun. Makes it extra fun. I'll probably figure out something to do. I like doing contests, as you guys have figured out. So, as long as I can wrangle my own being and get it all done, then we do it because it's fun. Makes the hobby more interesting when you can kind of, and sometimes just that little bit of encouragement will be the difference between somebody saying, well, I could, but it's not a merit-based contest for me. So you go, enter, and then I randomly draw. You could have painted your first pony ever and win a resin. So I think that's cool. I'm trying to do things for the hobby that I would have loved to have done when I was coming up and starting to learn how to customize, because I wasn't very bold and brave. And I don't know that I would have tried customizing without encouragement. So then we wouldn't have Fireheart and Juggernaut and Biter and all these cool things. So I don't know. I because of where I come from, I think that it's very important. And I didn't have a lot of family support for what I did. Quite the opposite, actually. I had family members that wanted to disown me because I wanted to do art. And I don't know. I think it worked out. So there's that. What else do we got going on here? I was checking Briar's page, and they've been posting stuff to the blog. So it's who's going to be there. So the Chincoteague drill team will be there, which is super cool because they did Surfer's Riptide as the model. So they're going to be there kind of in honor of that, representing the ponies, which is very, very cool. I kind of wish I was going to be there to see that. Darn it. Rain's going to be there, Prior Horse Mustang. Looks like very, very pretty roan. Cloud's Daughter, which is very cool. So that'll be neat to see there as well, representing the Prior Mustangs. Paddington's Mark of Distinction will also be there. I was there. I took photos of him when he was there way back, which was very cool. I quite enjoyed it. Very, very pretty pony. And of course, when you get them all done up and all their parade stuff, it's very cool. So that'll be kind of neat. But there hasn't really been any other things that have been updated. They're doing the Dash 5K. Let's see. Top finishers in each gender category will receive a Jules or a birthday cake or ice cream, I think. Yeah. And then, of course, their medal. They do a medal every year for the event. So if you're a runner or you would like to be more active in the heat than you otherwise are, I don't know. I get enough steps when I'm at Briarfest that I don't necessarily need the encouragement to be running around. But some people really enjoy that, and it's kind of fun. And it's Stephanie Maseko's kind of thing. She enjoys the running and being active, so it is part of the event. All right, let us. Oh, Amy says my contests are a good motivation for you. I'm glad that helps. I know that, like, I can't always donate and give stuff away, but I try to do it as much as I can because it adds more fun. And like I said, it sometimes will encourage people to do stuff they otherwise might not. So that is fun. Let us check out the NaMo things. Let us see here. I'll put up the hashtag if you're following along. That's the easiest way for me to find what you're doing, to show it on the stream. And I will share my screen. And first up is Katie's pony. So the tail's on. I love the hair. The hair is everywhere and it makes my life happy. I just adore this. It's so cool to see people playing with hair in more like drastic and creative ways. It's hard to get it to go from flat on the horse to doing the things in the air and defying the gravity. And Katie's kicking butt with that. It's going everywhere and I love it. I'm here for it. So Team Ohio as well, which is kind of fun. So that's another fun part of NaMoPaiMo is everybody gets to declare teams that they're on. So you can be Team Briar, Team Stone, Team Kylie, Team Donkey, Team Appaloosa, Team anything you can think of. Locations, colors you're painting, mediums you're using. So Team Airbrush, Team Oil, Team hand-painted acrylics, Team Pan Pastel, whatever you want. There's so many different things going on, and it's fun to track and see what people are doing with the different mediums or what they're doing with similar kinds of models. So if you look up Team Raven, then that's stuff that I've done for the sculpture, obviously, and then people will paint them really cool colors. And it's a neat way to see, I don't know, just all the things. My brain likes sorting things too, so that just does the thing. Slightly tism thing, but it's okay. So yeah, that's super cool. I'm excited, and I would love this actively while I'm looking. Ta-da! Another quick note before we get too far into the Namo stuff. If I'm not liking or commenting on your stuff, I am trying as much as I can to get in there, but there's lots of posts. So I'm doing little bursts. So get in there. If you tag me or use the hashtag, then you probably get a better chance of specifically getting my attention. But I do try and get in there as often as I can to help people out. Love things, encourage people, all the rest of it. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of other people kind of getting in there. I don't know how much Jennifer Buxton has time to do that, but I'm sure she's trying. And other artists are trying to get in there. We have the finished steampunk pony clock by Christine Lewis, which is super cool. Check this out, guys. The patina on it is so neat. And I love that it's a clock. And I love that it's a minis painting minis. Look at it underneath. Look. It's got a pony. You can't see where I'm pointing. I don't know why I'm pointing. But it is very cool. And I like that it's steampunky. Let's go look. As I'm trying to navigate a touchscreen / other stuff by zooming in. And that's a donkey decanter. That is so cute too. I love how creative people get. Another cool perk of NaMoPaiMo is that it's a big burst of seeing things painted. So sometimes you will see you'll see stuff you haven't seen painted before. Like no one's painted a Bombus up till now. So you get to see him, which is kind of cool. Or you'll see a briar that you haven't seen in a certain color and decide that you like it, or that you want to try painting a certain color or a certain technique. It's full of inspiration, which is very cool. So we have Cara King from Country Chic Creations, day 9, getting excited, painting a fire heart, and I love where this color is going. So that you can see the subtle roning going on there, and then I love the reference. This is really, really cool. We have an Ash. Hi, Nash. How's it going, Papa? It's freezing, like absolutely. The sky and air sparkles right now in Canada where I am because it's really freaking cold. So you can only go out for a couple minutes before you get frostbite. What are you doing? Yes, you're pushing me. So yeah, I'm excited for this color. It's going to be very cool. You can't push me. Don't push me. Don't push me. I'm close to the edge. And I can't even sit on him. He's too tall. And I'm 5'9.5-ish. So not short. I got your bum. I do. And I have a tail now. So what else do we got going on here? Jen Buxton's also posting these daily post your stuff in the comments. In addition to what has been posted on the main page, it's day 16 now. So if you have progress, post it in there. We have Cara Bowman painted a really nice pony in pastels, I believe. Let's see. And the white markings are lovely, and it's got a little pink ribbon in its tail. Let's see if I can make that bigger. There we go. And we have a lot. I don't know. This is obviously contagious, but someone's been spraying their ponies with primer, and it's contagious. And now a whole bunch of people have sprayed their ponies with primer. It is fairly easy to do because you take a primer can and you take a sealer can, and it's easy to get them mixed up. But some people are saying wrap tape around them, put a big note on the lid, keep it in a separate area. I have done this. It is heartbreaking. You want to just cry and scream, and especially if you're not confident enough that you think you can recreate what you just did, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter because you're heartbroken no matter what. Even if I know I can fix it, it makes me cry inside. So that sucks. Be mindful if you're playing NaMoPaiMo to keep your primer separate or mark it or test it, someone said, which was a genius. All you got to do is spray it somewhere else other than your horse's face, because that first spray and you go, I have made a mistake. So yeah, that sucks. Someone here saying, just stop, take tape, label it, test it, write it in huge letters, just don't. Some people breaking ponies and fixing ponies. So there's all sort. This makes you feel like you are not F up because you made something and it either isn't working the way you wanted it to, or you broke it, or you dropped it, or your cat ate it, or your dog kicked it, or whatever, because everybody's making mistakes and doing stuff. This is a chemo that's still being worked on and being customized. It's very cool to see it be transformed. It's getting better and better every day. So there's people taking all sorts of risks all over the place. This is a first timer painting a huck and has been getting lots of really, really good advice from people on how to do the dappling, how to tone down the yellow color, because it was a little bit more Cheeto originally. You can kind of see some of the really bright tones in the tail. There's some cool people posting stuff about different colors, and Becky Murphy was in there right at the beginning posting a whole bunch of different references. It's all over. So here, primer, matte. You would think that the different cans and the different colored tops would give it away, but it doesn't. You have to do something to tell your brain that it is a thing. People are felting horses and using techniques that you wouldn't otherwise see very commonly in the hobby, which is kind of cool. People are finishing their ponies in holographic and all sorts of stuff. And as they're finishing, everybody's celebrating, which is another cool thing. It's a great way to recharge your juju. The more you post and support the people around you, the better it is for them, the better it is for the community. And it actually comes back to you too. It's a whole good vibe deal. So do it. Even if you don't think that you are of, and I don't even know, even if you don't think that your comment will make a difference, I guarantee you that it will. So comment on people's stuff, tell them what you like, all that stuff. This is a completed Lady Anne, which is very cool. And Lynn Castles Caldwell is working on a oil white experiment. So she's taking her oil paints instead of using acrylics and doing the whites in oils, which kind of gives it a really cool creamy feel. So I like it. It's cool. It's neat to see people experiment and see what their results are. So I won't go over all of the posts because obviously there's 5 bajillion of them. We have people that are inspiring us with all the different supplies on their desks and 5,000 horses going on, which is really cool. It's neat to see people playing with stuff. Happy accidents, some unhappy accidents, people playing with different materials. I had posted, let me see here if I can find it. Oops, can't spell my own name, guys. And you can see me do it live. There we go. This one. So this was buried in the comments. If I comment on somebody's post and I think that what I've put in the comments is relevant for more than just that one person or would be helpful kind of in a bigger light, I'm trying to post it to the main group as well. So with this is different transparencies. So someone was asking about doing a black and white Appaloosa and how to do halos around the spots and ghost spots. So you can see this is pure titanium white here and how this guy right here. Pure titanium white paint there. I've added some blending medium there. That's the blending gel. Where'd it go? That's Airburst Dinner. This guy. The same thing that Blaylock is using. Stephanie Blaylock. It's Folk Art blending gel. Now, while I wouldn't necessarily recommend Folk Art as a brand for artist quality paints, the blending gel seems to work pretty good for some stuff. You can also use like a Vallejo Flow Improver similar. Basically what they are is a non-pigmented acrylic base. So it lets the pigments be distributed evenly, whereas water will make it kind of grainy. That's why that is the way it is. And if you're ever questioning what people are even talking about in the NaMoPaiMo groups, ask. There is no stupid question. And if people are going to shame you for asking a question, they're an a-hole. So that is just the reality of it. Because there's a lot of different materials and techniques and words that we're using that for customizers that do this all the time, or artists that do this all the time and are familiar with the things like opaque make sense, but they might not for somebody who has never done art before and this is their first time painting a pony, or they've never heard that term before. What the heck is opaque? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, if you don't know what the word means, you don't know what the word means. So I've been trying to use terms that make it easy to understand and define what I'm talking about. So you're going from opaque to translucent here. And titanium white is a fairly opaque or solid pigment to begin with. So you're not going to see a lot of what's under it. And then as you add in that blending medium, you're getting more and more of that clear distribution. And then if you wanted to do a halo spot, you would just do that around the outside of the black. So you can see it demonstrated here. This is just on paper, so it works to test. I won't test it on a model, but I'll test it on paper. I don't even know. My brain doesn't work like it should, but that's okay. So this is me doing it on paper, and it is a black acrylic spot. And you can see I've done kind of a ghost spot here, and that's just painting that titanium white pigment with blending medium over top of it, and that kind of ghosts it out. You can do the same with airbrush. That's how Vermeer was made. It's you paint the spots on and then you brush over it, airbrush over it to bring all those down. You can do the same thing with pastels, and it can be hard for a beginner to kind of understand how that works to transfer it to a different medium. It's like, okay, this is acrylic, but how does this work on a bay or a chestnut or in pastels? So ask those questions. If you want to know, ask the questions. This is the time to ask the questions. And then same for doing the outside of the spot. I just went around the outside of that spot with my transparent mix, and that pushed it back. This is a really good way to do modeling techniques too. If you wanted to do an Appaloosa, is to go in with a transparent, thinned down mix and kind of set all those things back. You can do this with a pink, and that will, like a flesh tone, and it'll bring everything back, and then paint stuff over top. And then this is me going in a second time and just kind of stippling around the outside with that same transparent mix. This isn't any more opaque or I'm not using straight paint. This is the same mix that got us the results on either side. And that, because you're layering it, will make it more opaque over time. So by putting layers and layers and layers of transparent glazes or mixes, you're going to actually get a more solid color. And that can work to your advantage. So for here, instead of having this hard line around the outside, which some do have around their ghost spots and their haloing, you can kind of get a little bit more rough. And then you could do that with hair as well. So doing all those little hair pattern tickies around the outside would get you something like that. So you could take this and then go in hair by hair around the outside, and then it would kind of soften that hard edge on the outside, but leave the one on the inside. Or you could have gone in hair by hair with a transparent mix and then done that for your initial layer to get this layer. So you'd have hair around the inside and around the outside, and then put another layer of transparent mix around the outside so that it would just blend that in really, really well to your white coat. And then you'd still have the cool transparent effect on the inside, and it kind of gives some depth. So that's the nice thing with glazes, is you can get some cool depth going on. So that is the Namo stuff. Let's do a quick scroll through the media. I think I saw a post where it was 600 and some people are officially participating this year, and I know a lot of people are participating unofficially, which is very cool. We have bulls, we have minis painting minis, we have Egyptian decorators. These are really, really cute, I have to say. All sorts of different mediums, people doing different things. And a lot of beginners struggle with the idea of, I need to know exactly step by step how to do this, when a lot of people have different techniques. So even with that tutorial, the little mini one that I just showed you guys, when I posted that, the person was like, well, what about this? And they asked about painting on the spots in like a lighter gray, and you can do that. That gets you a similar effect if you wanted to paint gray around the outside. If you wanted to go in and paint your black part after, you could do that as well. And so you take a gray spot, paint that, and then go in with your black. You could leave the middle to show that black spot. You could paint over it all and then repaint that black spot. There are so many ways to get to the same spot, which is why this is great, because you can get opinions from a whole bunch of different people doing different things and kind of see what works for you best, because everybody will have their own preference. So it's kind of fun. Team procrastination. Yeah, pretty much. I'm procrastinating, but it is practicing a technique that is very important. So it does not count as procrastination. It is different. It's all steps. Yeah, we're all painting. That's what matters. Marty says, little Noki decided he didn't want to dry as fast, so I'm behind on painting him. Oh, no. Well, planned on painting him Tobiano, but we'll see. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully he behaves. It's hard because you get different types of mediums that dry at different rates and sealers that cure at different rates, and oil paint is notoriously bad for waiting times. And then the dryers are usually a little bit more than a little bit not nice chemically stuff. So a lot of people want to use them, but they help. So Karen, hello, Karen. Katie says, Nash. He's so cute. He was cuddling today. He tried to lay down on the couch and the pillows were there and he didn't want to move the pillows. So his butt ended up on my lap, and just his butt. So his butt is on my lap and his body's hanging off of me onto the couch. And it was hilarious. He actually passed right out. He was having the best time. He's all warm, which is nice. Julia says, somebody teach me how to primer in cold weather. So here I would primer with the door open because we're freezing, and vent the fumes out that way. But we have a back room that's the shop, so it has air circulation and stuff, and it's not a livable space. So that's what I would do if I didn't have a venting system. You can also take a horse outside, quickly primer it, and then bring it inside to cure. Exceptionally cold weather definitely messes with primers. You can use a airbrushed primer as well, and that can be sprayed inside with just a little, I have an airbrush venting system that can go outside, but it also sucks through a filter, and airbrush stuff is usually not as bad for your lungs. It's the aerosol stuff in the big cans that you need to kind of worry about. And that's generally how I would do it. I saw somebody holding their horse over top of a gas stove flame. I don't know that I would recommend that for avoiding cold weather primer stuff. That seems like it could end badly for the pony. I do a lot of stuff with manipulating the resin and plastic with heat. And if you're playing with fire heat, then that can end up bad. So I wouldn't suggest that one. But yeah, taking it to the outside or just going to your door, opening the door, putting your horse outside, spraying the horse, bringing it back in. And even if you have to do it a little section at a time and just do thin layers, then that works out. Let's see. Glenda, hello, good morning. Or hello, depending on where you are. Let's see. Amy is saying if your bathroom has a fan, you can also primer and have it vent outside, because your bathroom fans do vent to the outside. That is a thing. Bonus is if you can turn on the heat beforehand. Karen's saying always spray a stablemate first to test it, because then you'll know what the primer is going to do, which is a good thing. I'm bad at testing things, so. Let's see. Yeah, right? I wouldn't have imagined that the person that painted the hug was a first timer. It was very, very cool. Sherry made it. Hi, how's it going? Let's see. Inserts Drake meme, says Katie. There's been a few good ones going around. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. You can see people playing with fantasy colors. You can see people playing with different techniques. This is another primer accident. It's looking so good too. That just makes me sad. We have another firework. This is a cool color. So contrasty. Lots of stripes. There's some windstones. We have more medallions. This one's so cute. So cute in Palominos. We've got some fantasy ponies. There's dragons. There's just so much to go through. Somebody dropped their Claribo, I think, resin and broke all the legs or 2 of the legs and the ears off. It was not a good day. It's so unfortunate. There we go. Work on Namo horse. Start a new Jurassic. Or another pony. Whatever. It's very cool. I don't know what this is for, but that looks neat. Fire. Oh, there we go. Fire nice. By Patty Click. It's very, very neat. Another flocked pony. It's so cool. Like you could just even, here's Carol's Firefish. It's very cool. I love the metallic-y pretty colors. The color choices for the fins and the hair is just the neatest thing. And he's got some of those tones in his body too, which works really well because then it ties the hair in with the body. She did a good job. Good job, Carol. And then a medallion that she did. Dun, da, 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 which is done after her horses, which it won't let me show you here because I'm not in the right post. But she had her mare is the darker one, and then the dam of her mare is the lighter. There we go. These guys. So pretty. So cool. And you get some people that this was hand-painted acrylics, I think, at first in cheap acrylics, just to get coverage, because they were finding that the cheaper acrylics actually are more opaque and cover a little bit better. And then to get the vibrancy and the color up, what they did is paint the more expensive acrylics so that you're not wasting them over top. It's kind of a neat technique, I thought. So many things. There are ink ponies being painted. There are everything you can imagine. It is very, very cool. Sometimes I just like scrolling through all these to see what's going on, and I don't know, it makes me happy inside, brings me joy. So hopefully it does for you guys too, because I spend a lot of time in these Namo streams scrolling through stuff, so hopefully it's fun. Prepping Caitlin is doing. That is exciting. I was almost doing that the other day. I went into my little drawer where I have some half-finished projects, and I was like, oh, I could just pick up. I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? I have to question my reality. It's like, I'm doing this because I don't want to work on the pony and do the hard parts. Because taking this guy to the next step and putting a whole bunch of crazy stuff over top of him is scary as heck. Not as scary as putting all the white paint on him and then painting over top with crazy colors, but still scary enough because you get him to a point where you're like, oh, I like it. I don't want to mess it up. Oh, I like it. I don't want to mess it up. Or, oh, I messed it up. How do I fix it? So that's the thing. But yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be neat to play because I really enjoy the sparkly colors. I have a mixture of the Turbo Dork paints that I can use. And so I wanted to mention with those guys, that is not a Turbo Dork. Where's Turbo Dork? Turbo Dork. So Turbo Dork, they're airbrush paints. They do need to be thinned. They come a little bit thicker than you'd think. And this color doesn't go on like that over all the colors. On the side of the bottle, it does tell you that you need to shake it to mix all the pigments in. Make sure the tip is clear or you're going to squirt it everywhere. And then they'll tell you what color to put this over. So this only looks like that over black. So it's kind of a copper gold to almost green, and you need to put this over black. So if I was to put this over a white horse, you're not going to get that effect. You'll see something going on, but it's not going to be what you're looking for. So make sure when you're buying paints to check that, because some people want that effect just to come out of the bottle like that, and that's not quite how that works. So I'll be using a mixture of those. I have some pigments and perlexy things that I'll be playing with. So this is just a mix of perlexes and Amazon Shifty Colors. And there's different techniques for putting those on. And that's one. That's kind of fun. It's a purple. You can kind of sort of see it. It's more apparent in person, which is why these are always hard to photograph. It's a purple to blue. So I'll play with those and different methods of applying them. I can brush them on and seal them. You can mix them in with a medium, like a matte medium or a gloss medium or anything like that. We'll apply them on and then make them stick. There are a whole bunch of cool things to play with. When you get into like the acrylic world, you get into, let's see if I can find anything. Like glass bead gels, which you can mix with any color or pigment. And then they're little, you almost can't see it. They're little tiny glass beads, which gives a texture, like a pebbly, soft texture. You think about a whole bunch of little marbles, really, really small. The paint will coat those. And then if you're using transparent colors, then it really lets the light in. It's really cool. You get matte mediums, gloss mediums. If you're looking for pigments that have sparkle or metallics, you don't want matte because that'll take all that away. You want a gloss. So gloss or satin, but preferably gloss. So gloss mediums would work. They have mica flake powders that you can mix things in. That would be good for like scaly kind of feel or something a little bit more decorator. It's very, very neat. I am enjoying playing with things, seeing what works. Katie's like, fishy, fishy. Just keep swimming. See, that should be a meme. Amy says cheap acrylic paints are amazing. You can do a lot with them. I use them all the time. Yeah, they definitely have their place. And this is expensive when you start building up giant amounts of paint. And then especially with acrylic, oils will tend to last for a long time. Acrylic is plastic based, so they're not likely to last forever. They will eventually kind of dry up. So you got to use them, which is encouragement to paint things. Marty says, what are the best metallic paints or mediums? Looking for something iridescent. So you can get I'll bring the whole thing. Golden makes in fluid form and otherwise interference colors. So that has a blue sheen. You can kind of see how it's changing the black lines to a blue, but otherwise it's kind of clear. So if you painted this over top of him on the blue part, it would give his blue more of a blue iridescent sheen. And then you could paint it over top of the orange and it would change the color a little bit. So you kind of got to be planning how you're going to use these, but that's how you get color shift things, is adding in the different iridescent type pigments. They also make pearls. Here's an iridescent violet, so you can see how that's kind of purple. Where those lines are. And you can make some really, really, really cool mixes by mixing iridescents and layering them over top of stuff. Iridescent gold. So iridescent gold is different from gold. Because gold looks, it'll cover those lines and you'll actually see color over all of it. Whereas that is just where the light catches it, it makes a color, which is kind of cool. So this shows your opacity and how much coverage you're going to get. So anything underneath, like these black lines, you're going to see more if it's more transparent. But those colors are good for mixing because they're not going to change your color as much as ones that are more solid. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I really like those. There's some really cool. Where is it? This way. Vallejo Model Air makes some really nice metallics. I really like this blue. It's Arctic blue, and it is lovely. You can see it's covered in it. But So all the little model game shops and gamer places that sell Warhammer and D&D figures and stuff like that usually carry a lot of really cool paints with some nice effects for metallics, and for iridescence a little bit harder because you're not going to get that necessarily right out of a bottle. Like if you're thinking about like holographic style look, you'd have to mix things to kind of get that. But the closest you're probably going to get is these interference type colors. And then something like this guy, where he's kind of got that mother of pearl look to him. That is... What are these guys? Turbo Dork. Mother Lode. So this has to go over top of a white to get that effect. Otherwise, you're not going to see it. But you can see how it has like a pink to a green. And the colors on the labels aren't necessarily that it's going to be metallic. They're usually more kind of shimmery. So, yeah. Can be harder when you get into those effects, and then you can apply pigments to get similar type metallics and effects too. So I find that with the metallic type paints, it's usually better to go with something that has good reviews on it, because they're kind of hit and miss. I've seen, especially with golds and things, that it can be kind of hard to find a good one that works. So it's always fun to go shopping. But model painters usually have tons and tons of reviews online for all the different colors, and you can see how they compare between things, which is kind of nice. Lorox says, I use craft paints for my trappings. Karen saying, I'm looking for texture. What do you prefer? Texture as in how? There needs to be a little bit more information for me to be able to offer up. Because you can get with mediums, like I said, with the mica flake medium, that would be texture. The gold bead medium would be texture. So let's see. Brenda says, I use blue interference mica over my black horse. And that's can give you a really cool effect, especially if you're looking for like a blue shimmer or sheen in certain light on a black horse or any other color, I guess. You can add that to it to give it that shift so that when the light hits it, you see that color. That's why the interferences are nice. But if you're looking for color all the time, then interferences don't get you there. Rough hair texture. For painting it? I'm not sure what you're asking. Sorry. If you're looking to sculpt rough hair texture, then epoxy. If you're looking, you can add, they have like a ground pumice medium too. That would be like dirt or mud that you could add. You could paint that technically over a horse's whole hair if you wanted to add like texture. They have crackle mediums so that you can have it look like cracked lava. Mediums are what you'd add to paint to make that work, and then otherwise epoxy, and you can use some of those mediums too when you're sculpting and to get a texture effect. So and modeling or molding paste also. Twyla, hi, good suggestion, because you can mix that and make all sorts of different things, and they have different hardnesses of that, and it'll give you a different effect. So Sherry says, I add iridescent colors, but then to live show them, I'm always hesitant because I'm like, okay, they're going to say that's not a realistic color. And that can happen sometimes too. You do get a shimmer on some coats. So you get copper kind of on chestnuts that are more realistic. You can get it on bays. Black can sometimes have that bluey purple sheen. And it's really up to the discretion of the judge. Some judges love that. Some judges will say it's not realistic enough for them and they prefer flat, matte, whatever. So I say collect what you like, paint what you like, and the rest will follow. Because if you're catering your collection or your art style 100% to what somebody else is looking for, if it's on your shelf, you're not necessarily going to enjoy it as much that way. And if your whole goal is just showing and winning, then maybe that's a little bit different. But I like to look at the things and enjoy the things that are on my shelf. So that is the thing. So yeah, I showed you guys the pony, so I'll show it again for those of you that might have missed it. So I am in the progress of making the pony and making the adjustments to the pony and loving how her little leg is and her little bum is. I found something in my archives, which was kind of cool. So this was one of the first Medallion Club boxes came with these little newsletters, which I was kind of doing. So this is for Shaman. So you got to see Shaman, a little bit about Shaman, other stuff that I might have been working on, other stuff that other people had worked on. So this was April, I believe. Yeah, April Powell did that on a coloring page that I posted. And then some line art that I was doing for my coloring book and playing with all sorts of stuff. So this was the second medallion in 2017 was when the club started. It has been going on a very long time, which is very cool. I'm going to reveal some, or maybe mention some spoilers. We're a little bit too early for actual spoilers, so I won't go into details about that. So I'm going to, let's see. I will show you something that's going to be in the box because it's really, really cute, and I couldn't help myself. I found little tiny horsey paper clips where the saddle is the paperclip part, which is just too cute to pass up because, like, look at it. It's so cute. So I found those for the boxes. You'll have your stickers, and then this particular, as I stare at it, but you guys can't look. This particular medallion is something that's been requested before. It is a full body medallion, and I think that's all I'm going to tell you this time. I'll tell you more later. Ha ha ha. It's still too early. We still have like 2 weeks before they ship. So that is all I will say. But I will hopefully be able to get more work done on the NaMoPaiMo horse going forward. Maybe post some more pictures of my pony. And she has a very special name that I will reveal later, not just yet. And then the club peaks will start coming kind of the last week right before I ship. And then they'll ship out. And then I will do the reveal once they've had a couple days in shipping so people can start getting them. So hopefully I catch it before. We'll see how it goes. All right. Yeah, people think the paper clips are cute. I thought they were super cute. And you can get some really ugly looking horse ones, but these were really cute and the saddle just did me right in. So Medallion Club members, you're going to get a fun little cute thing in your box because I can't help myself. All right. On that note, I will let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy your long weekend. Canada and the US have a long weekend this weekend, I believe. That's why packages won't ship on Monday. So if you have a tracking notice that popped up in your inbox yesterday and it does not say it's shipping right away, it is shipping on Tuesday because Monday is a holiday and we can't ship anything. All right. Enjoy your week. Enjoy NaMoPaiMo. Go jump in there on either Instagram or Facebook. Go in the Facebook group. Support people around you. Maybe explore. You might get brave enough to paint something or something exciting. You never know. It'll happen. You might find a person you want to commission. You might find all sorts of goodies. So enjoy the juju while it lasts. We only have 2 more weeks of it. And I will see you guys next Sunday. I love you very much. Do not feed trolls. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.